When you say British gangster, British bad boy, this is the guy you think of. Like, Sean Cronin is that guy. I hope he doesn't take offence to me saying that, especially at the start of this review, because I don't mean it in any sort of offence. What I didn't know is that he also steps into the director's realm. We're talking about a movie called Our Kid. Yes, I am back. It's not been long and you're back to watch another video, another review. My name is Kevin Halden. This is Nerdly Out Loud, the official channel of nerdly.co.uk, your favourite British home for your news, reviews and exclusive interviews. I like to cover everything from the big budget to the low budget to the no budget, with a special keen interest on the lower end of the scale. That's definitely what this movie is. I don't think it had a huge budget. It had a budget, don't get me wrong, it definitely had a budget, but not a huge one. And this movie kind of really does rely on the strength of its actors, which is great because those are the kind of bloody movies I really enjoy. I've been watching a lot of comedy lately, I've been watching a lot of gangster stuff lately, but this was a little bit of a different way for me, a little bit of a family drama, will we say. First of all, do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button and ding that notification bell. It will let you know whenever I drop something so that I don't have to phone you up on the mobile and say, yo, have you watched the new video yet? If not, get on it, because it's there. You'll just get a little notification that tells you it's there. Let's talk about Sean Cronin's Our Kid.
That's me, Laura Riley. I'm 12 years old. I play Sunday League footy and I support the best football team in the world, Liverpool. I want to play for them one day. My hero is Taylor Hines. She's boss, but my biggest hero is my brother, Thomas. There he is, in the wheelchair. He's got something wrong with him, you know, because he supports Tranmere Rovers. Thomas has cerebral palsy, but he doesn't let it get him down. In fact, not much makes Thomas sad. Anyway, this is us, the Riley family.
And as always, I will do what I normally do. I will talk about the plot without any spoilers, or as few spoilers as possible. That's going to be hard for this one. And then we will jump into the cast and the crew of this movie, which I really can't wait to talk about because we got some great talent in here. And then I'll talk about what I did and what I didn't like, which is here and there. And then I'll get into my final Nerdly Out Loud rating, which is just my rating, as you know. But it's the one you always want to put on your box. Not on your box, on your box. Box cover, box cover, box cover. Our Kid is a movie about a 12-year-old girl, basically. It's Laura Riley's story. She basically kicks off this movie with a little bit of narration telling us about her family, about her uncle, about her granddad, about her dad, about her mum, about her brother who has got cerebral palsy. Now, the matriarch of the family, the mother of the family, she does pretty much everything. We're told at the start of the movie that she does pretty much everything for the family, down to making the bait boxes for the dad and all that good stuff. However, in the first kind of 15-20 minutes of the movie, we find out that she has got cancer, and then she passes away, and the movie becomes this family trying to hold it together. Laura trying to hold it together, the dad trying to hold it together, the brother kind of weirdly being the strength of the family, the glue of the family, and of course everybody's dealing with it in their own way. We're not going to get into it in a personal sense, but it hit on so many levels personally, which is probably why I kind of dug the movie. But it does become that, and it becomes the dad trying to realise that, you know what, he needs to step up and he needs to look after these kids. It becomes Laura, who, yes, she needs to grow up a little bit, but she also needs to be a child. So yeah, the family's just trying to keep it together and just get on with their lives. Now, there's not really much else I can say about the plot. It's not one of those ones where they're going on a magical, mystical, fairy ride or anything like that. They are literally, it's sort of your working class sort of movie, set in Liverpool, of course, because that's about as working class as it gets. That's not offensive, I'm not having a dig, but when you think of that kind of thing, you think of Liverpool. It's got a whole host of Liverpudlian actors that I know and love, and we'll talk about them in a minute. But essentially, that's what it is. It's about family coming together. It's about the drama of life and people having to stick together and realise what part they play in their family. So I suppose when it comes to the cast of the movie, we should really start with the family, because why wouldn't you? Kicking off with Mum Tracy, of course. She's not in the movie a whole great deal, but she does have some pivotal scenes. She's absolutely fantastic. Sharon Byatt as Mum Tracy, you buy her. You absolutely believe her. Everything she does. She is the powerful, strong mum that you would expect to see in a movie like this, and she plays it brilliant. There's an actress called Laura Baston that I'm a massive fan of, and I've mentioned her in a few different reviews, a few different interviews. I've spoken to her a few times. I'm a really big fan of Laura, and she has this sort of down-to-earth but also otherworldly. That's what Sharon Byatt is bringing to this role. She really just makes me believe. So when you get the haymaker of what is wrong with her, and then the haymaker of losing her, and we'll talk about how we see that because that was interesting, but when you get those haymakers, they hit. They really do hit. They hit bloody hard. Dad John is played by Conor McIntyre, who you may remember as the dastardly Pat Phelan in Coronation Street. He was a bit of a bastard. We didn't really like him. He was evil. But in this, not so evil. Actually, really nice guy. Bit of a crap dad to start off with, but he'll get there. We will make him better. He will grow for the family and become better, so that's good. But I did like the way Conor McIntyre played this role. I love the kind of strong silence of the character, the not saying too much but saying everything, and there's a lot of that. His dad is played by John McArdle, and John McArdle destroyed me in this film in a couple of different scenes. Like, I'm a massive big girl, okay? When it comes to dramas like this and stories like this, I am a big Jessie girl. Like, it has to be said. John McArdle, when he delivers some of his little monologues, but also just is there, is just in the moment. Oh, he destroyed me. In a really good way. In a really, really good way. Just fantastic acting across the board. He does a great job. I really, really like him. Young Laura Riley, Poppie Jae-Hughes. She's fantastic. I will definitely 100% be keeping an eye out on this young actress. I can't wait to see her do some more stuff. She doesn't get a massive great deal to do in here, even though she is the main character. She's more just sort of like taking us through it. There's a scene where the dad is telling her a story about a stone or a pebble, and her acting in that scene, while she's not really saying anything, is perfect. Like, she just nails that moment. I would like to have seen her do a little bit more, but I will absolutely be checking her out going forward, seeing other projects that she's in, and she's a fantastic cast. They really casted well for this role. She was everything you needed her to be. Daniel P. Lewis as Thomas, Brother Thomas, who, while he is in the situation he is in, you really get a sense that he's the guy that's keeping this family together. However, at the same time, I don't want to do spoilers, but he's also going through something that they don't really know and they don't really see because they wouldn't see it. I don't want to do spoilers. You feel so much for his character because he's also going through this and he's dealing with it in his own way, but he's unable to really express it to his dad and his sister, and you feel for him. But let's be honest, no movie, no TV show set in Liverpool would ever be complete without Mick Johnson and Greg Chadwick. Absolutely loved seeing these two guys on the screen together again. Yes, Lewis Emerick, who was in Brookside, played Mick Johnson way back in the day. Great character, we loved him. And Mark Moran, who plays Mark Parrott. These two guys are like the dad's best friends. They work with him, they're there for him. There's some great scenes with this trio. I just loved them, and it was great because I was a huge Brookside fan back in the day. Like, that was my go-to soap. So yeah, anytime you're going to throw somebody from Brookside in a movie, I'm going to be happy. And I was happy. Would have been good to get Sinbad in there though, but you know, we can't have everything. And a quick mention, good old Angela Dixon gets a scene in this movie. Angela Dixon, you seem to be able to get yourself in any movie. It's always great to see you though, and I really liked your character as the teacher, looking after Laura. I was really happy there was someone looking out for her, and I'm really glad it was you. So yeah, Angela Dixon is in this movie. What I did and what I didn't like, something that I really liked was when we get a bit of narration, it turns into like this animated story, like a pencil drawn sort of animated stop motion story, and I really loved that because it tends to happen at moments where there's like something deep going on. So like towards the start of the movie, when the mother does die, we get told this, we get shown this pencil drawn animation, and although it does sort of take a little bit of the sting out of the scene, it's also very emotional and it feels quite personal. And then you get it again a little bit later on, and you get it again a little bit later after that, and it's kind of when Laura is telling us something that we need to know, that we need to pay attention to. And I thought that was quite an ingenious way of doing it, and it had my attention. Some of the dialogue is quite ropey, but I think that's more of a style of like, we're trying to play it as this working class kind of story. But then you do have other sections of dialogue that is so bloody powerful, and certain sections where there's not really any dialogue, and it's bloody powerful and it gets to you. So it is a little bit of an up and down thing. I just feel like the script was lacking a little bit. And on that same vein, I guess there's a few scenes that I thought could have been cut down a little bit. It could have been shaved just a little bit to make it that little bit tighter. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell a director or tell an editor or tell a writer how to do their job. That's not what I'm about. I'm just saying that there was a little bit room for improvement with this movie. While I did adore the story and I did adore the characters, there was just a little bit of room where I thought we could tighten this a touch. We could tighten it a touch. But something that I genuinely loved is Laura Riley. I thought she was fantastic in this role. Really well cast. A role that I imagine would have been quite hard to cast, unless it's like the director's daughter or the producer's daughter. I guess then it's really easy to cast. But I feel like this would have been a hard role to cast. So I might as well just get into my final... Oh, shit! Ricky Tomlinson. I haven't even mentioned Ricky Tomlinson. Ricky Tomlinson's in this movie. If you know Liverpool, if you know Liverpudlian actors, if you know Scousers, you know Ricky Tomlinson. And he's in this movie for a few scenes. Not a lot, but he's in there, and it's great to see him. You just instantly recognise his voice, and you just instantly fall in love with Ricky Tomlinson. So, Ricky Tomlinson is in this movie. But yeah, my final Nerdly Out Loud rating, I am going to slap a very, very super respectable 4 on this movie. I would be tempted to give it a 5. It probably deserves that for what they've done with what they had and the story. And like I say, this isn't someone I know. I know Sean Cronin as an actor, and I've seen him in things, like he's been in like 100 movies where he played bad guys and probably died in most of them. So it is someone that I'm familiar with on the independent scene and just generally movie scenes, because he's been in some massive movies as well. But I was not expecting this movie to come from that actor. And that is completely me judging a book by its cover. That's on me. You should never do that. I just wasn't expecting our kid to be the kind of movie Sean Cronin would go and direct. Which is great. You want to see that in the scene. You want to see the scene grow with people you weren't necessarily thinking that's his kind of movie. So I rate that. I rate that a lot. It's fantastic. It probably does deserve to get a 5, but where it was let down a little bit for me was in the sort of the dialogue. It just didn't feel overly natural all of the time, and that's a hard thing to do anyway, so I feel harsh putting it down on that. Some scenes just went on a little bit too long. It's more about just knowing when to cut, or when to cut away. Again, I'm not going to tell somebody how to do their job. You've made a cracking movie here. You guys should be extremely proud of this film. I think people need to give it a watch, and it could teach you a lot about, family dynamics, especially in this day and age. So absolutely, our kid, I give it a 4 out of 5. Genuinely loved it. I will be recommending this movie to people, and I want everyone to check it out. So please do. But I'm going to go now because I'm just waffling on. And this has been Nerdly Out Loud. My name has been Kevin Halden, and I'm just going to leave you guys with this one thought. I don't actually have anything there. I felt like I was going to drop something really inspirational didn't happen. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe, ding the notification bell, and I'm gone.